All right, welcome back to the conversation. We can relax a little bit today. It's not about politics. But what we do have is we have the notorious Vernon Grimsley over here and Mr. Larry German to my left. And, we're going to get into a little bit of Dillon tradition and football.
Wait a minute. So we're not testing wings and hamburger steaks today?
Not
Oh,
today,
man,
we
I'll
can
tell
definitely
you
have
what.
you on. I know you got that credibility.
I got it.
Yep.
And our goal is not enough.
I guess where y'all want to start? Y'all want to go back in time a little bit? I know you got a few years on me. We can start at
Well, we can start with it's called B team now. It used to be J.V. Martin, Coach Bull Lee and Skip Myers and stuff. I mean, I remember we had played Pop Warner the year before, so I knew it was time for us to move up to JV, and I was like, man, I was scared to death.
what year is this?
Oh God, it had to be 75.
Yeah.
And I was
1975.
Yeah, and I was scared to death, and I heard everything about Bull Lee, and he was tough, but he molded a lot of ball players to get them ready for Coach Chapman to move up to high school and stuff, and Coach Chapman was a legend, and of course my offensive line coach, Coach Gunner, he taught me a bunch, got me ready for college and stuff, and of course you had Coach Falconberry, Willie Fred Daniels, and all the other coaches and stuff.
Gerald Reeves.
Gerald Reeves, he was a wizard when it come down to breaking down game film and stuff, and we had old Richard Clark, and we had Coach D. Con her first year. We had her our senior year and stuff, and she was something special. I love D. Con, and stuff.
She still is.
She is a trip, but yeah, all the coaches. I mean, me and Larry, we've had a lot of influences over the years and stuff, and Bull Lee was the one that every Thanksgiving, starting my 8th grade year, we would either go to Newberry College or Presbyterian College to watch the Bronze Derby. I had, I think, maybe 5 or 6 college offers, but I knew in the 9th grade I was going to Newberry because, Bull Lee was such a big influence on me and stuff. And actually, when I signed my scholarship, I mean, he told my mom and dad, let him do all the talking, so he got all kind of stuff thrown in there and stuff. But Bull Lee was one of the biggest influences in coach, in course.
Yeah, he's left a big impact on a lot of people's lives.
Unbelievable.
He even coached us there at the Christian school for a little while.
Yeah.
And he's made his impact in Dillon County and Dillon County football and the school system for a long time.
You are correct.
Yeah, I was saying Coach Bull Lee. When I arrived at J.V. Martin, I came from a smaller town, Little Rock, and he was my PE instructor, and I'll never forget the day that we were running the 40-yard dash inside of the gym, and Coach Lee said, "Gee, my lady, German. That's all you got, son?" I said, "What you mean, Coach?" He said, "That's fast as you can run." I said, "Coach, I'm running fast as I can." He said, "Do that again." I ran, entered the gym, he clocked it. He said, "Gee, my lady, you don't play football?" I said, "No, Coach, I'm a baseball player." He said, "You never tried to play football?" I said, "No, Coach, I'm a baseball player." He said, "Well, gee, my lady, you ought to come out there one afternoon and let me see what you can do." I said, "Coach, can I bring my baseball gloves?" He said, "No, we're talking about football." And I had an opportunity to join that JV team one summer. And they carried me by my house in Little Rock and said, "We're going to run back to the stadium." I got there by the dirt road going to my house. I made a right turn and went home. I said, "Football ain't for me." And from that day to this day, Coach Lee had made a very impact on my life because I heard Vernon say Newberry College. When I graduated and was able to have a scholarship awarded to me, Newberry College was where he sent me. Yep. Coach Tuberville, I met Coach Tuberville down at Newberry College, and I tried out for him. He offered me a scholarship to play baseball at Newberry College. But in the meantime, he said he was leaving and going to Winthrop. I said, Coach, it ain't fair to me if you're going to leave Newberry and go to Winthrop. I want to go where you go, Coach Bull Lee told me you was the man. He said, well, I tell you what you do. You follow me or you can stay at Newberry. So I decided to go to a junior college. And I did 2 years with a junior college, and I transferred over to Coach Winham and Coach Tuberville. And that's how I got my baseball career started.
Yep. So not even in football, you know, he just made an impact on people's lives. And
yes.
That was.
I remember one funny thing about Bull Lee coached us in baseball in 8th grade. And you know what jerseys we wore? We wore football jerseys. Because we didn't have baseball jerseys. That was something crazy. You know, so yeah, Bull Lee was he was the man, and then we got it. There were Coach Paul Chapman and stuff, and Coach was another big influence on a lot of kids around here and stuff, and he had a lot of connections and stuff, and all his assistant coaches. Back in the day, we played 4A ball, and we were the smallest 4A school in the state. We had to go up against, Somerville 3 out of 4 of my years, and they got us every year and stuff. And but then they split up the 4A to Big 16 and Little 32. And I really feel like if Dillon was in the Little 32, there's no telling how many state championships Coach Chapman would have won, because we'd have to play the big boys and stuff like that. So, but but back then, like I said, it was 4A. I mean, every week it was a battle.
It was a game. Yep.
It was a battle. So. So
he built the program up pretty good during that time, though.
Yes, he did,
and established some definitely tradition there. And what are some memorable teams that come through? What years? If you could go back and look,
our senior year, 79, we were co-ranked number 1 with Somerville all year long. And we went to football camp at St. Andrews in Laurinburg. And we were on one field, and Somerville was on the other practicing. Well, we never went in until we saw them start running sprints. Coach Chapman said they're not going to outwork us. And we never went in before we always saw when they were running sprints, we knew it was about time for us to get through. But I remember we were doing round robins and scrimmages and stuff. There's like 6 teams. It had 2 fields going well. When Dillon and Somerville scrimmaged, all the other scrimmages stopped. And there was probably well over 1,000 people just watching, the round robin scrimmage. But when Dillon and Somerville, like I said, that was our rivalry and stuff. And I remember, Coach Reeves was quiet. So we ran a tall sweep to the left. And I went downfield, and David Strickland was running the football. And David cut it back up, and the defensive back was getting ready to tackle. And when I laid the defensive back out, and of course I hit the ground too, and Coach Reese stood over me, grabbed my shoulder pads, and pulled me up, slapped me upside down. That's the way to get downfield, Grimsley. And he's a defensive coach, So, and I get back in the huddle, and Coach Chapman said, Vernon, I've never seen him react like that. I said, you have made that man a happy man. And Coach Gunner said, yeah. He said, I told him, make sure we get downfield, the ball's going the other way and stuff. But we lost them back to back my junior, senior years. We had more yards and stuff. We just made some mistakes. And they went on to win, 3 straight state championships. They were strong.
They're going back to the 76 team. I was a tailback on the 76 team. They had Curtis McClellan, 256 or 260. Had Charles Richardson, 240, 250. You had Sam Kennan, 320. You had Vernon. You had what's the name? The Branch boy. They had almost 3,000, about 3,500 pounds across the front line.
Some big boys.
They had that big boy football. And Coach Hayes was, I think, 9th grade. He come up to the varsity level. I felt sorry for Coach Hayes because he had to run the bow hump team. And you know what the bow hump team is. You got to run against it. I felt sorry for Coach Hayes, but he held his ground. He held his ground. But I felt sorry for him.
Jackie's daddy, my daddy taught us in the play in varsity or ninth grade. You had Scrap Iron, Stevie Lee, Blob, all them boys. They were
Ricky
huge.
Miller, Stevie Lee.
I mean, and we took our beating. I mean, you know, but you know, it made us better. And by our 10th grade, I mean, the next year, you know, we were like leaders on the team. You know, instead of coming fresh out of junior varsity. But yeah, I thought my daddy was crazy, and Jackie said the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, playing varsity, but I mean, it worked out good.
Yeah,
Worked out real good.
That exposure and experience to a higher level is
You
a long way.
You had people like Carl Huggins. You know, he was a dedicated Booster fan. Lonnie Turner. You had good Booster fan people that if you were out in the community like Little Rock, you had people like Charlie Lucian, that ran the cucumber market, Phil Brown, the Wallace, Dr. Wallace's father. You had people that loved football, so they were able to, all the boys out in the country, they were able to relate to them because they came to that cucumber market, and from the cucumber market to the football field.
Yeah, you had that support.
You had a lot of support.
They put a lot of kids. They put a lot of kids to
That's how
work.
we become successful in football because we had a good community, and we were surrounded by good people.
Yes, sir. Well, I guess moving on, y'all went to college after that, what, 79 year?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I think Larry was what, 77?
77.
77.
All right, and y'all come back, and I guess y'all came back right back to Dillon not long after that. How did that change?
I came back in 1983, and when I got back to Dillon, they had Lonnie Turner, Jack Lynn, Joe Price. They had started a little recreation program. They had built a little ballpark behind the National Guard Armory that now today is Dillon Parks and Recreation, but they had started a baseball recreation program because when you left the Kiwanis, they had no way for the 13 and 14-year-olds to play. Right. So they started a 13 and 14-year-old league in 1983. And when I came back from college, I went out to the ballpark and I was introduced to Mr. Lonnie Turner and Joe Price, Jack Lynn, and a bunch of those guys, and they said, "Welcome back to Dillon, Larry." I said, "Man, this is a dream here. I hope this thing can get bigger and better." And over the years, Coach Hayes came back from college, and he took over the program as the athletic director for Dillon County Parks and Recreation in 1984-85. And he took that program, and we started growing. We started growing in athletics, in baseball, football, track, softball. We had become an athletic county in Dillon County. And in 1984, I left for 3 months and went back and played baseball in Puerto Rico. And fortunately, I became a 1984 Junior Olympic player. I was an alternate out of 700 guys. They picked 2 guys from South Carolina, and I was one of the 2 alternates.
That's definitely an achievement.
And I came back to Dillon. And in 1985, I started working for Department of Agriculture. And I was going through the courthouse one morning, and a fellow by the name of John Graham stopped me and said, "Larry, I thought you was out of the country." I said, "No, Mr. Graham, this is my home. I'm back here to live." He said, "You working for the Department of Agriculture?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Well, I got a forestry job available. You scared of snakes?" I said, "I'm a country boy. They live or die." He said, "Well, come to my office in the morning." I started working back in '86 for the Department of Agriculture. And then I left and went to forestry. But in my part-time, I worked with Coach Hayes out at the recreation field and made sure that the recreation department didn't fall down. And I worked out there every summer with Coach Hayes. And then when I worked up until Vernon came on, and I've been there ever since. This is my 37th year at Dillon County Parks and Recreation.
I think Lonnie Turner came after Jackie, and then Lonnie
Lonnie came for a season. Yeah.
Yeah, then I took over
He
after
came for a
Lonnie.
football season. Yeah.
About that's 21 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
21 years now.
Yeah.
So it's hard to believe it's 21 years, but we see some good kids out there that were just, you know, dynamite out there, you know. And then we'll see kids like, you know, man, you know, they just getting beat up and stuff. But all of a sudden they hit that growth spurt stuff, and then they go to high school or, you know, junior varsity high school, and they just become superstars. You know, then like I said, we've had kids down there we knew they were going to, you know, going to be the real deal and stuff. So, you know, we've had our councilmen they've always backed us with the recreation and stuff, and will basically get us anything we want, you know, that we need. So we've been, I think we've won 7 state championships in football, and
2 in baseball.
And 2 in baseball. And a lot of runner-ups, a lot of district championships and stuff. So it's been a good feeder program.
The recreation department has definitely been a very foundational thing for Dillon sports and football in general. Because you know I went through the recreation department too, and did a coach there.
Yep.
And you know, you can see them, you know, as the boys grow up, that like you said, some of them hit some growth spurts, but they still have that foundation that
Right. That's
was
correct.
taught to them in the rec program. But yeah, I guess, you know, Jackie kind of took over the high school program once you took over the rec program, and so I guess talk to us about that and how that kind of.
Well, I'll tell you, my goal in my life was to see Dillon win 1 state championship, because we had been so close for years, and next you know we won 1, then we won 2, and you know, and I mean, and then you know won 4 straight and stuff, and to watch these kids and stuff, and Jackie, he backed us big time too. You know, he ended up giving us a bus for transportation from the high school. If we needed anything for that football program, and he would be there for us. And I mean, he did great. And now you got, you know, Coach Roller up there and his crowd. I mean, the nucleus is there. I mean, the tradition is there. Roller just has stepped in with his group, and they'll just keep on going and stuff. And it's just been a wonder to watch them over these years when you were hoping to win 1 state championship. You know.
Yeah, Dillon's got a lot of talent, especially on the football field.
Well, like Vernon was saying, Coach Hayes had a bond with athletics. His boy Zach played in the program, and he turned out to be a good athletic leader. Coach Hayes, basically, his program, his mentality for athletics was, if you don't get the players out there, you can't play. And he made sure that his coaches come out there and work some with the kids so they be recognized. And that's how he got a bond. I can remember the 92 team. That was a state champion team. Coach Hayes knew in 1992 that we're going to have 4 consecutive winning seasons, because that rec team scored over the whole state of South Carolina. I think they scored 230 points to 0 in the state of South Carolina. So them
In All-Stars, that was an All-Stars, yeah.
Who were some of the ones on that team?
Rooster McCollum, Stan Manning, Troy Jones. Man, they were some monsters,
Yeah,
man.
they were studs.
I mean, they were just football players.
Yeah.
And they turn out, and a lot of those guys turn out to be really successful. And a lot of them is back in Dillon, being productive to the Dillon County now. Like Troy Jones, you know, he worked for the sheriff's department, been there a long time. Reggie Thompson. You know, we got some good people here in Dillon, and that's what we need. But we can't neglect the youth. Anything that the youth needs here in Dillon to go off and get a college education and come back, we need to keep it going. Our rec department need a facelifting. You know, we just got to keep a youth program in Dillon going in order for the youth to be successful in Dillon.
That's right. like we said earlier, you know, it lays that foundation for
Right.
when they get older, especially in high school and then hereafter, and then it even brings them back, like you said, you know, it plants those roots, that tradition of being in Dillon, and you know, I'm back here in Dillon, like I said, and
Yeah.
I enjoy it. You know,
Yep.
It's home.
And one thing, I mean, we've had a lot, like Larry said, we've had coaches come out there and some will referee, you know, and while they're refereeing, they're scouting, you know, to see what they got coming up, and Jackie would ask me, Larry, say, hey, what we got coming up, and you know, 11, 12, that's the next level up and stuff, and I'll tell you another big thing that has helped us throughout the years, really big thing is we've had a lot of deputy sheriffs out there, you know, coaching and stuff, and they keep these kids in line and stuff, you know, so I mean, it's just been a good thing. It's just been a good thing, and you know, so Dillon County, and overall Dillon County football is you know, is awesome. You know, the whole county. So and I support all of them. I mean, I don't care. You know, Ladder, Lakeview, Dillon, Crystal, man. I mean, I love all of them. You know, and I'm gonna always pull for them. You know, no matter what.
And I always said, if you from Dillon County and playing athletics, when you cross that great PD River or the Waccamaw River, they fear Dillon. I don't care what sports it is, what school you go to, they fear Dillon because they know Dillon have great athletes, great coaches. Most coaches come to Dillon County to coach. They stay here until they decide they don't want to coach anymore.
Yep. Some good examples in recent history too for that one. You know, we've covered over a decent bit of Dillon history. Went through the recreation department all the way up to the high school. What do y'all?
Yeah.
You know, Coach Roller's done a pretty decent job, I think.
Yes, yes, he has.
You know, what are y'all looking at for the future for Dillon High School and that program?
Well, anything less than a state championship, a lot of people think that's a failure. But
Yeah,
you know,
he's definitely got high expectations.
But and they should because you know, I mean, they're that good and stuff. You know, Dillon's always going to be there. You know, Coach Roller and his crowd is doing a great job. You know, and just it's just tradition. You know, they'll get the kids out. I mean, they work out in the weight room. I mean, they have them do all kind of stuff, and you know, and every year you got to replace some kids. You know,
and Coach Hayes gonna call and ask what the numbers look like. Coach Hayes crazy about numbers. Yes, say, Coach Hayes, we got 30 kids on the 11, 12-year-old team. How many can come up? I say, it appears to me, who are coaching JV next year, they ain't got to look for about 6 more players because they got 30.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good tool for us.
Yeah.
And it's tradition. It's just a tradition too.
Yeah, I'm sure he's staying a little bit involved in that program as much as he can,
You-
without getting, you know, interfering too
that's
much.
right. That's right.
I've been to Salt Lake City, Utah. I've been all the way across the West Coast. And I'm back here to Dillon, and I can tell you, once a Wildcat, once a Dillon cat, once a Dillon football player, you don't never lose it. You don't never lose it.
Well, y'all got anything else to add before we close this thing up?
No, we just you know, we appreciate you having us, and you know, it was good to hash up some good memories. You know, like I said, I mean that's Dillon tradition. And like I said, you know, everyone should support everyone in this county. You know, I try to catch some Christian school games. I try to catch as many, whether it's football, baseball, whatever, softball, basketball. You know, you try to catch some games just to support everyone. Because like I said, we're all Dillon County. You know, so and the future is bright for a bunch of these teams. You know.
We just got to, like I said back in the program early, I was Dillon County Parks and Recreation. Due to the pandemic for the last couple of years, things been on the back burner. But I was talking to some of our legislators, like Coach Hayes and some of the people that can help us here in Dillon. We in the process in the next couple of years to upgrade our recreation. Me and Vernon probably be gone, and another team probably be coming along. But we want to leave a cornerstone so that we'll know from our, like Vernon got couple grandkids now. I got 3 grandgirls coming up. I want them to be able to know that my grandpa worked out here. He did a fantastic job.
That's right.
And we're going to keep this thing going.
Yes, sir. Well, we want to thank you for watching. I want to thank Mr. Vernon Grimsley.
Appreciate
Mr.
it.
Larry German for coming on. Probably have Mr. Larry German on here for another segment here for too long. He's running for District 6.
District 6 County
District 6
Council.
for the County Council. And we'll look forward to that one too. And like I said, thanks for watching. And we'll see you on the next one.